magazine called him the future of influencer and brand collaboration. Twan Kuiper.
Thank you so much.
And later, we'll catch up with comic illustrator Dan Panosian right here in the studio. Welcome to Marvel's Off the Rack. Hey guys, it's that time again for bullshit movie news. But before we get started, be sure to check out Epic History X-Men Volume 3, The Dark Phoenix Saga. It will be out on Memorial Day. It'll be $3.99 on Vimeo On Demand. We've been working on it for months. And man, it is a race to the finish, you guys. Like, we are still working on it. We filmed our last outro yesterday, and I'm just so excited. We put so much love into it. So check it out and find out why I love the X-Men. And maybe you'll like the X-Men as much as I do. And then you'll understand why I hate these movies so much. So yes, let's get on it. So let me give you kind of an overview of what we're going to talk about. Tell you about my topics first. We're going to talk about the new Star Trek trailer. We're going to talk about Paramount. They were going to sue a Star Trek fan film. Talk about that. There's a possible Gone Girl 2 sequel going on. Ron Perlman has thrown his hat into the Cable ring. He wants to also play Cable in a Deadpool movie. We have Independence Day 2. They have a new trailer out as well. And also possible Kingpin in Spider-Man Homecoming. And, you know, let me just go ahead and nip this one in the bud. I know you guys are all asking me about Preacher, but I haven't seen it yet, so I can't talk about it yet. I've read the comics a long time ago. It's been a hot minute. I don't know how they're going to translate this. I'm a little scared. But next week, hopefully I'll have time this week while we're finishing up this crazy documentary, and I can sneak in some Preacher, and maybe we can talk about it next week. So, yeah, let's get started without further ado. So I just watched the new Star Trek trailer, and man, this trailer was way better than the last trailer. The last trailer I saw, it came out, I think, around Christmas time or something like that. It was like around Star Wars time, and it really bummed me out because it was just all action. Like, it was just all action. It was just explosions everywhere. And to me, like, and it felt like they were trying to compete with Star Wars, you know, and being this action adventure thing. And that's never what Star Trek has been for me. And that's not what it should be. Like, Star Trek does have adventure and it does have action, but really it's a lot more philosophical. You know, there's a lot more. It's just a little bit of a higher brow situation, in my opinion.
Leaves you something to think about.
Yeah, it leaves you with something to think about. You know, people talk about their problems. There's diplomacy going on. You know, there's like all this stuff. So it's like, and it's about a fucking future where, like, we get past our problems so much so humanity comes together and we have to find problems in outer space because we just don't have any problems on Earth anymore. We got to go to outer space to find problems because, you know, we love problems. So, you know, this new trailer gave me a lot more hope for this movie. I wasn't excited about it, but after watching this, I'm definitely much more excited for it. It looked a lot more in the tone that I'm looking for out of my Star Trek movies. And we also have Justin Lin, who's directing, and he was doing some of the Fast and Furious movies. And I am a fan of Fast and Furious. I know, like, it's not great, but I love it. So I'm excited to see what he's going to do with the franchise. I'm still a little bitter about what's his face leaving. You know, I feel like J.J. Abrams, yeah, I mean, he's producing, but like he just kind of turned his little cloak, you know, and it's kind of bummed me out because I really loved the first one so much. And the second Star Trek movie I wasn't as in on. So we'll see how this one goes. I'm super excited. I love Carl Urban as Bones. I love Simon Pegg. Like, I just love everybody. Zachary Quinto as friggin' Spock is like amazingly fine, and I'm like all about that. So yeah, I'm excited about Star Trek now. This new trailer kind of made me want to see it, whereas the last trailer did not make me want to see it. Moving on. Speaking of Star Trek, so I heard that there was some people on Kickstarter, and they got, I think, around $600,000 to make a Star Trek fan film. And Paramount put in a motion to start suing these people over making a fan film. And the public outrage on the internet was so great that Paramount withdrew, and they were like, okay, fine, we won't sue you. And I think that is awesome. I love hearing that because, you know, what the fuck, Paramount? How is a fan film going to destroy or hurt this franchise in any way, shape, or form? It's only going to help you. Especially if it's a great fan film and gets people excited about Star Trek. This is essentially free PR for you. You know, I mean, I love I love the message in the Lego movie where it's like about these big corporations, how they don't share their fucking IPs with anybody. And they're just so greedy about everything. And it's like, we love this stuff. Like, let us play in the sandbox a little bit. It's okay. We're not going to take away from it. Fans are only going to add to the awesomeness of your awesome property. So quit being a fucking greedy ass cunt and let people fucking make fan films and don't sue them, okay? Because that's fucking lame. So I'm super glad that Paramount fucking figured it out and they're not doing that. Big ups. Like, hopefully this sets some sort of precedent where people stop trying to sue people for just making stuff for fun. I mean, these people are living off this money. They're doing it out of the goodness and the love of their heart. And like, I'm somebody who, like, I want to make an X-Men fan film. I would love to make a 15-minute X-Men fan film to show all the motherfuckers out there what the X-Men should fucking be about, but I'm afraid I'm going to get sued by Fox, and it's like, I don't want to get sued and I don't want to put all my heart and energy and time into something that's like just trying to like help out, so that's good news. Moving on, we have a possible Gone Girl 2, a sequel in the mix. What? I am a big fan of Gone Girl. I loved it. I saw the movie and then I read the book. I did a backwards one and I loved them both. The movie was so great. I loved the movie so much so that for Halloween that year, I was Gone Girl. I was Gone Girl for Halloween. So that's how much I really enjoyed this movie. And I love the character of Amy Dunn. She is such a compelling character. I feel like, again, I was talking earlier about a heel turn, and how like, being a villainess and how I'm interested in being a villainess. And I feel like Amy Dunn is like a really great approximation. If I was like super evil sociopath, like I could totally be an Amy Dunn, but I'm not evil, like, like that. But I love watching her work. Like, it's so magical. And to see what they would do with it, Nick and Amy are together at the end and she's pregnant with their child. So, I mean, what does that mean? I mean, I don't know if Gillian Flynn can write this up and come up with something good. I'd be down to see it. If it's just a cash grab, then don't worry about it. I don't want to see it. But if there's actually some real story there, I'm totally down to see a Gone Girl 2. And if Fincher comes back, but I don't know. I mean, if Fincher comes back, I'll be in, because then it's going to be all right, because he's like, he fucking knows what's going on. So, but we'll see. This is very, iffy. Rosamund Pike herself was actually kind of pushing for it, which I'm not surprised, because I would be dying to get back into the role too. Like, she killed that role. She was so good. So we'll see about Gone Girl 2. It's an interesting idea.
Independence Day, how about that?
So yes, all right. So another trailer that I just watched was the recent Independence Day 2 trailer. They just dropped another one.
Trailer number 2.
And in this one, they pretty much show you the whole film minus the resolution. So, I saw the movie, I guess. Like, let me just tell you, I saw Independence Day in the theater. I fucking loved it. I fucking cried when the mom died. I fucking love Bill Pullman's speech. Bill Pullman is so good. I have one of the largest crushes on Jeff Goldblum. Like, he was my dude growing up. Like, I loved Jeff Goldblum as Dr. Ian Malcolm and Independence Day and The Fly and all these amazing things. So I'm really excited to see Jeff Goldblum come back. Like, I'm totally going to see Independence Day 2, but I don't think it's going to be good. Okay. Like, Independence Day 1 shouldn't have been good. It makes no sense to me that Independence Day 1 is as good as it is. It still holds up. I watched it last Independence Day. And in fact, I'm going to watch it again this Independence Day. I need to go buy it on Blu-ray. Because like, how many major movies have like 3 male stars? You have Bill Pullman, and then you had Jeff Goldblum, and then you had, what's his name? Will Smith. And like, that makes no sense, but it works. It's like the stars aligned. And Roland Emmerich, I mean, like, he's not that great, guys. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
He followed up with Godzilla.
He followed up with Godzilla, for Christ's sake. Okay. Like, it's just, like I said, astrologically, I felt like the universe, it was lightning in a bottle. And I don't think that they can recapture it, but I'll totally go check it out.
It's too dark.
It does look too dark. The tone of it does not look right to me. It looks like they're abandoning, I mean, as everything is now, it's all dark and serious and has fucking Transformer tech everywhere. But I'm excited to see if there's a queen alien. What does that look like? And that giant ass ship that's bit like it's eclipsing the Earth looks fucking sick. That has its own gravity. So I mean, they definitely upped the destruction factor this time. So I mean, and I love a good destruction scene. Like, I'm down to see some cities get destroyed. So yeah, so we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna be there. I'll watch it. I don't think it's going to be great, but I got to support my boy, Jeff Goldblum. I got to be there. And in fact, I actually got a sneak peek. I went over to visit Studio ADI. They're an awesome practical effects company here. And I was going to visit some peeps over there, and they had this really awesome, like life-size, like alien cockpit that they had made, that somebody was going to sit in, like for the set. And I got to see it before they had to take it apart and take it to set, and it looked really cool. Like it was really cool. So shout out to ADI. You guys did a good job on that. You guys are the best. So yes, moving on.
Next?
We have Ron Perlman. He's thrown his hat in the ring. He wants to play Cable in a Deadpool movie. I also know Dolph Lundgren. He's also been saying he wants to play Cable in a Deadpool movie. Everybody wants to play Cable in a Deadpool movie. And I saw this really hilarious tweet that Ron Perlman put out, or whoever's doing his tweets. I don't know. If he came up with this, you're fucking hilarious, dude. He had this picture of him and Cable, and he said, now that I think about it, Cable should want to motherfucking play me. And I was just like, that's the right attitude. That is the perfect attitude for Cable.
He
I am
he's the only one with Cable's hair.
He is the only one with Cable's hair. That's true. I mean, as much as I love Dolph Lundgren, and I don't think that he would be a bad choice, and I wouldn't be bummed on Dolph Lundgren. I think that Ron Perlman would be really great in the role. I think he's got the comedic chops as well as being like the serious guy and the straight man. I think him and Ryan Reynolds playing off one another would be really great. I think they would have a lot of on-screen charisma. And I've just been a really big fan of Ron Perlman in general for like my whole life. Like I watched the Beauty and the Beast show that he was in, where he played the Beast when I was like a little girl. And I also watched, City of Lost Children. Like he's so good in that. If you haven't seen that weirdo French movie, he's so young, but it's really awesome. Yes, Guru. Ron Perlman is like the best. Like he's the greatest. So I'm all in on Ron Perlman. And finally, last but not least, it's gonna be a quick one today. For Spider-Man Homecoming, supposedly there's some rumors swirling around that there could be a possible Kingpin situation. Vincent D'Onofrio, who's been playing the Kingpin in the Daredevil Netflix series, may show up in the MCU. And all I have to say about that is fuck yes. I love fucking Kingpin. I love Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin. And again, I love Vincent D'Onofrio. He's like another weird like actor crush that I have, where it's like, I don't care how fat he gets. I love him. I think he's talented as fuck, and he's amazing, and he brings it with every character he ever has. I loved him on Criminal Intent. When he was Thor in Adventures of Babysitting. I mean, I even love the fucking Cell. He's so good in the Cell. I've been rewatching the Cell, and fuck you, that's a pretty good movie, okay? It's got a really great premise. It's flawed, but that was not Tarson's fault. There was totally some interference going on. I highly recommend, and I don't know if there's a Blu-ray of it or if the same commentary is on this Blu-ray, but I was looking at I had a DVD of it, and I was listening to Tarson's director commentary, and like it's fucking hilarious because he tells it like it is, and I'm shocked that they let him put that much stuff in his commentary. It is amazing because he is bitching about so much stuff. It's so wonderful. But yeah, so I am so down to see Vincent D'Onofrio in the Spidey universe. He's so good. I mean, he's obviously a movie actor. He's of that caliber. I would love to see him, but that also would be really interesting because if we see him in there, then that means that we could see, Matt Murdock, Charlie Cox in there. And like, we could see the Netflix characters come into the MCU, which would be really awesome if we did like, during the Infinity War gauntlet thing, we just like get everybody involved. And like, I'd love to see Jessica Jones. I'd love to see like Luke Cage. I would love to see everybody showing up for this. It would be so much fun. And it would set such a great precedent, and that would be awesome because, in my opinion, I think that they should let them be in the movies. Now, not the people on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., all right? Now, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. can fuck off, but like the Netflix people, yes, Coulson's good, but like the rest of that, I don't want to see it in the MCU. But, this is something that's like within DC and the DCEU. I know that they had The Flash, and The Flash is doing so well on the CW, and everybody loves The Flash on CW, but then they announced that they're not going to use that guy in the movies. And I thought that was kind of dumb, to be quite honest. I was like, what? You've established this guy. People like him as this guy, but you're not going to that just doesn't seem right to me. So I would love to see Marvel do the opposite and say, yes, we're going to use our people from our awesome Netflix shows in our MCU. I'm so in. Vincent D'Onofrio all day long. So yeah, I think that's it for bullshit movie news today. It was a real quick one. And you know, again, I have to keep shamelessly self-promoting. Epic History X-Men Volume 3, The Dark Phoenix Saga, is going to be out on Memorial Day. We got a week to get this shit done. You guys need to pray for us. Like, we are down to the wire. We're doing it. We're working on it every day. In fact, when I get home tonight, I'm going to be cutting out Photoshop files for my animator from Archer, who's going to be like animating some sick-ass panels to put in there, and it's just going to be so good. Oh, man, the music, like, you won't even believe it, all right? Like,
how long have we been working on this?
We've been working on it since, like, last year. I mean, we had to take some breaks, you know, to work on other projects in between, but it's like, we've been working on this for a hot minute, and it's just coming together so beautifully, and I'm so proud of what we've done. And I want you guys to check it out on Vimeo on demand, you know, learn the real X-Men. Forget about the Singerverse, forget about all that nonsense. Get to the real heart of the stuff, because honestly, you guys, and I'm not even kidding right now, the Dark Phoenix Saga is one of the reasons that the X-Men are as big as they are. You know, I mean, without that story arc, I mean, it's one of arguably the X-Men's greatest story arcs. It's arguably one of the greatest story arcs in comics history. And it put them on the fucking map because of all of just the beautiful subtlety and wonderfulness of this awesome, amazing story. So come experience it. Check it out. Vimeo on demand. Memorial Day weekend. On Memorial Day, it's going to be awesome. You know, get yourself some wieners and cook them up and fucking sit down in front of your computer and watch it with your fam. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to be probably dead in a corner somewhere, you know, and you can just roll the hot dogs over towards me, you know, because I'm going to be so tired after like getting this shit out. So thank you guys so much for checking out Bullshit Movie News today. We're going to be back next week talking about Game of Thrones, Silicon Valley, and more bullshit movie news. Peace. We've got a major Marvel star with us today. Clark Gregg will be joining us.
That's really amazing.
And later, we'll catch up with Alpha Cat.
President Barack Obama. That's me.
I can't tell you how excited I am.
Welcome to Marvel's Off